Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the International 9-Ball Open. Thank you. Thank you very much. The International Open is a Pat Fleming production, and it's brought to you by Accu-Stats. We're in the Simonis Aramuth Arena at the Sheraton Norfolk Waterside Hotel, as we always are when we have the International, and we want to thank them once again for their hospitality. We also want to thank, of course, our great partner in the industry, Diamond Billiard Products, for providing us with all the equipment we've been using this week, and thank you very much for their support. As befits the name of this event, the International Open, our 128-player field represents 22 different countries from around the world coming here to vie for this most prestigious crown. One of them will be the champion in just a few days. Let's find out who that might be by introducing our players for this match right now. Representing Canada, he's a former World 9-Ball champion, he's a former US Open champion, and he is the most recent, for a few more days, inductee into the Billiard Congress of America Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, sponsored by Puyat Sports in 3 seconds, he's the smallest man, but he's got the biggest heart. It's the Lion, Alex Pagulayan. Thank you. His opponents from Austria. This gentleman is a 2-time World Cup of Pool champion. He also just took down the 2021 Ohio Open, sponsored by Mez Q's. They call him the Panda. Please welcome Mario He. All right, please, lad, for the break, if you would. Your official timekeeper is Julie Ha. And we're going to send it upstairs to the commentary booth to the A-team. And that means the voice of Accu-Stats, Billy Incardona, and USA Mosconi Cup captain, Double J, Jeremy Jones. Take it away, guys.
Well, thank you, Kenny. And important match here. Of course, it doesn't get these guys into the final 32. I think they got to win one more, whoever advances here, between Alex Pagulayan and Mario He. But to the 9-ball part of the event here at the International, Billy, and any forethought here? I know you're not real familiar with Mario, but let me just tell you, just like Kenny said, coming off a big win last week at the Ohio 10-ball championships, very solid 2-time winner with Albin Ocean in the World Cup of Pool. Many think he carried those wins, if that tells you anything, because Albin Ocean kind of speaks for himself, the reigning World 9-ball champion.
Okay.
Now, Alex Pagulayan, you know, a guy that usually gets better as the tournament goes. He's very mindful of doing that. He knows that's the kind of process you need to win these events. What do you look for?
Well, you know, Alex Pagulayan, in my opinion, is technically one of the best players in the world. There's no question about that. You know, and he plays all games well. Mario, on the other hand, I don't know. I've never seen him play, but based off of history, what you're saying about him, you know, I'm kind of curious and anxious to watch him play at the table here. And looks like if he plays the way you feel he should play or could play, it's going to be a very entertaining match.
Yeah, at this point, at this juncture, I think many would say Mario's a slight favorite in this match. If that tells you anything about...
That says a lot.
And not just taking anything away from Alex, but just Mario, again, coming off that win last week. Got to do a lot for his confidence. And, he's a lot like his countryman, Albin. Albin considered one of the tidiest and smartest position players, but one thing that you can't mistake about for Albin can come with the big shot. I think Mario's just about the same, very much one of those upper echelon Euros that, play great position, but when needed, can come with the toughest shot, you could ask for. So,
well, you've covered just about all the bases there. He's an excellent shot maker, and he handles the cue ball. His patterns are really probably impeccable. So this is going to be a very interesting match if he holds up to his speed.
Yeah, and like I said, Alex is a guy that usually gets better as the tournament goes. I know that's hard to imagine, but very much a process for Alex.
I've always been very impressed with Pagulayan, not only with his ball striking skills, but also his the way he plays patterns and his cue ball control. And not only in terms of direction, but his speed as well. He's a very, very difficult player to beat.
Yeah, he kind of has it all. Sometimes you play in tournaments, if you could, maybe compare it to golf to where, the course sets up for a lot of birdies, really opens up the field. He has that part of the game where he can keep up, but also whenever they lay tough, when the event and the break rule is tough, the tables are tough, he's another guy who can win, in that situation as well. Kind of like in majors in golf when the course is set up very difficult, right?
Absolutely, yeah. He's got all the shots in his bag.
Yeah, it's just a matter of how confident he is. And, of course, all these guys are always trying to figure out the break. But a break and run to start this match, 1-0 Pagulayan. It is alternate break, race to 10 still.
Mm-hmm. And to endorse what you say, at the Derby City Classic, Alex is the only player living, or for that matter, the only player that has won every event there. He won the bank pool, he's won the 9-ball, and he's won the 1 pocket, and he's won the all-around championship.
Oh, Shane never won the bank?
I really don't know for a fact.
I thought Shane actually won all 3 as well, but maybe not. Maybe Shane's taken 2 seconds in the bank.
So because of that, that's just a testament to what you're saying, that his all-around game, every facet of the game, he plays extremely well.
Yeah, and that leans towards what I was going to say next, that probably the brain is his biggest asset, right?
Oh, yeah, he's a very intelligent player. He uses really good discretion at the table. And no better game than 1 pocket to show us how a guy thinks when he's at the table.
Yeah, and really not only how he thinks, but how quick, players learn and retain everything else. A shot here or there in 1 pocket is very easy to recognize, but everything else that goes with it, not so much. Now, dry break here. The 1 caught the point. Most of these guys are trying to play the 1 in the side. Of course, trying to get as much into the rack as possible to comply with the rules, plus maybe make another ball here and there. Talked to Alex a little bit last night about, some of his cueing and different things. And he said, here and there I'm moving on the ball. Timing's a little bad. But like I said, he usually looks to improve it as he goes. He's very conscious of those things.
And that's why he's able to make that adjustment as the tournament progresses, because he understands what he needs to do. And he has the know-how how to make those adjustments.
Yeah, pool's very much different. You don't have those on-hand coaches, and you don't have a caddy and different things like that. In golf, for instance, I compare it to golf so much because they're so alike. If those players on the golf course feel something going on, they're not afraid to go tweak it in the middle of the tournament, where a lot of players don't really want to be talked to or anything like that. I think the smart ones, though, really understand maybe there's something going on and try and get to the practice room to remedy anything that they might be off at a little bit.
I really like the way he's running these balls. He played position for the 5 in the lower left corner as opposed to getting another angle on the 4 to drop for the 5 for the side. I like what he's done because when you play position for balls in the side, you get a little off angle. He may not be able to recover off of that, but there's a lot of room now for him to play position for the 6, which was behind the 9. I really like the way he played this particular rack here.
Yeah, I think you'll see the guys stick to the corners a little more. We saw the 10-footer the first 3 days where they were kind of moving the rock for the easier shot at times. And I think the guys that play the best on both tables just kind of play the same patterns, right, on both. I mean, occasionally I guess you could see making sense moving the rock a little more on the 5 by 10, but I'm a big corners guy.
And I totally agree. Playing shape for the side, obviously the shot may end up being easier going into the side, but position sometimes it gets really, 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 difficult at times when you end up with a little bit of a wrong angle.
Well, what I've always seen is it gets you making funny strokes, like that in-between stroke. And another thing that'll kind of prove it to you, Billy, is a lot of times you go around for the side, you end up a little off, and you play it in the corner anyways. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean, so that kind of tells you a little bit. It doesn't take much for it to be funny in the side pocket, and Alex Pagulayan, perfect so far.
Right. Yeah, you have to be fairly precise when you play position for a shot in the side pocket. Therefore, be very, very, very conscious of that when you're at the table.
Yeah, we'll get on to business, but like I said yesterday, what Buddy always said, it'd be obvious when you should play a ball on the side. Shouldn't be like, oh, should I go for the corner or the side? Like when the side pocket's usually correct, it is very much an easy decision.
Right. And that's very noteworthy, by the way. Very, very good point.
A lot of matches going on. A lot of guys really, trying to survive this round to get on to the next, trying to get into that final 32. We'll try and keep you updated with some scores. One we can tell you about that seems like these guys play every other round, but Roberto Gomez, I think actually that match may be done unless they're on a break. It's either 9-8 Mora or 10-8 Mora. But they played in the one pocket, they played in the 10 ball, and now they played in the 9 ball.
Yeah, they're pretty busy. Pretty wearing as well.
Okay, trying to play the one in the side.
Nicely, watch out.
Oh, that's the danger.
Yeah, that cut break.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, if it's working, if you're making balls, it's worth the risk on the cue ball because, I mean, number one, you got to make balls, right? I mean, that's the first things first kind of deal when it comes to break and rotation. All right, Mario, and hasn't made a mistake other than a dry break in the first 2 games. But one thing that Alex has got to love is he's making balls on the break.
Yeah,
so lost the cue ball there.
Yeah, you got to find a positive whenever you make a mistake. You got to understand why you made the mistake and also find a positive into, what brought you to that mistake. Your cut breaking, you run the risk of maybe scratching like that, but the reward, particularly if you're making balls, like Jeremy says, certainly is a fair trade-off.
Yeah, and we're in an alternate break format, so making balls is more important, I think, always anyways, but it's not going to cost you 6 games without you getting back to the table.
Right, sure. Next time back to the table with the break it the same way, maybe the next time you won't scratch.
Yeah,
you don't really figure the scratch anyways.
Well, it's a funny hit. It's about a half ball hit is what most of the guys are playing on this cut break to try and make the one in the side. If you're a little thin, you go below the rack with the cue ball, a little dangerous. If you're a little thick, you got a chance of scratching cross side like he did there. So you'll see almost all the players flirt with a scratch or two during every match.
Yeah, I've noticed that in the match that before this one, when Barkas, whatever his name is, Barkas, I believe was his name. He was cutting.
Lane Barkas, good player from Houston.
And he came very close to scratching twice cross-eyed.
Right. Mario, very efficient player, but like I said earlier, a guy that can come with a shot as well. And it's weird. It always seems like that. I always labeled that about Buddy Hall, best cue ball ever, but also when he needs to come with a tough shot, he was one of the greatest. Nick Varner, same way, right? Mm-hmm. Guy that super efficient, great, guy that calculates the rack very well, but also when pinned and needs to come with one, it's like amazing. How do you do that, right? Perfect cue ball, perfect cue ball, perfect cue ball. Oh, I'm stuck on the end rail. I got to knock this in.
Right.
So it just shows how strong mentally they are.
Yeah, well, it just goes to show you that how great of a player they are.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. And you're correct with your assessment of how Buddy handled that cue ball.
Oh, yeah.
I don't, I go back quite a ways, and I really can't recall another player handling that ball better than Buddy Hall.
Yeah, and of course, that's a great mind on Buddy Hall, but I think it goes back to what you see a lot with any great players is, from what I heard back in the day, nobody put in more practice than Buddy Hall, is what I heard anyways. Of course, I wasn't around in the pool world in the 70s, but I know a lot of guys in Shreveport, and they'd tell me the long sessions that Buddy would put in hitting balls was kind of amazing. Oh, and there we go. Carbon copy, opposite side, but a carbon copy of Alex's break. Now Alex with ball in hand, he can play short side on the 2. Really just going to draw up for the side. May roll for the other side, just kind of depends. Yeah, he probably doesn't want to elevate the cue. I'd probably roll forward just above the 9. Oh, he's going to elevate. No, he's not. Okay. The camera angle fooled me, so he's just going to follow the cue ball. Is that too much? Is that too much?
A little too much.
Yeah, now he's got to go around these balls.
When you position,
maybe draw one rail.
When you position the cue ball close to the object ball, you have a tendency to overhit it because you want to make sure you get that nice follow.
Yeah,
and that's what happens sometimes.
Yeah, everything when you're close becomes a little distorted. The aiming, you'll see when a player gets on top of the ball. Ooh, wow! So that. A little fortunate to come away with this good of a shot, I think, with a little mishit on the cue ball.
Yeah, and the upper right corner is not available. He's going to have to shoot in the upper left. And shooting in the upper left, he's going to have a little bit of a tricky cue ball here, Jeremy.
Yeah, he can't follow. It looks like the side may be in the way unless he can hit before the side. I don't think he gets past the side here with the cue ball, Billy. Of course, these guys are at the table, so we'll see. Ooh, yeah,
he needed that full pocket. Yeah, it shook its head a few times, but when it finally came to rest, it came to rest in the bottom of the pocket.
Well, that a little difference in the outer tables versus this table with a little more heat. I think that ball stands up from what I've seen this week on the outer tables.
I totally agree with that. And I was kind of surprised to see Alex play himself out of shape not only on the 3 but on the 5 as well.
Okay, he can come out to the center if there's too much angle. He could just kind of drag the ball in for short side. Kind of up to him.
I like for him coming out.
Yeah, like obviously, yeah.
Increases the accuracy of the shot. Hits it with the speed he's more comfortable hitting it with. And
that's what the angle said, right? Kind of said to do.
Yeah.
He can go 1 or 2 here. Up to him. A lot of guys just go 1, believe it or not.
That was natural. And he had much better speed of the cue ball because it was.
Well, he's never going to be on the rail. I know that with the cue ball that way.
You're always going to have a shot.
So Alex Pagulayan wins 3 out of the first 4. 2 scratches on the break, 1 from each player. So they'll want to remedy that, even though I think you just always are going to have a chance of that. With the break style that most of these guys are playing.
And can you make an adjustment on that when you're scratching cross-eye? Can you make an adjustment on maybe going a little lower on the cue ball or?
Well, it's just a hit on the 1. Most of them are, like I said, not really applying side spin. Some do outside English, but most are straight low, trying to hit a half ball hit, drawing the cue ball 1 rail across the spot. That's kind of the design of the break for most of these guys anyways. So I don't think it's much of an adjustment. Of course you want to hit it a little better, but I don't think he's going to change much. I think it's just the gamble in the break here this week. I mean, we saw both players do it, right?
Yeah.
See him come across the spot area right there. That's kind of the design of things that you want. wow, how unlucky is this to be 1 inch from the 2? It looked like he was straight in. This is a non-complying break. So we're playing the 3-point rule here, a little adjustment this year, which I think is pretty smart. If you make 2 on the break, you don't have to get the 3rd one passed. But if you only make 1, the 3-point rule is still in effect. If you make 0, the 3-point rule is still in effect.
If it makes it 0, you lose control of the table anyways.
Yeah, but there's a big difference here. If you're snookered, okay. Say you whiff the rack and you didn't hit them complying.
Incoming player has the option?
Exactly. So if the balls are laid up in a poor position, you know, the non-complying break matters even if you don't make balls. Now, the one thing is a lot of guys overlook that. They just assume because they come to the table, my opponent didn't make balls, it's my shot. You know, so.
Mm-hmm. This is going to be very interesting here. I think he's supposed to hit the short rail, then hit the 2, but where's the cue ball going to go after the contacting the 2?
I think he can come between the 3-8. The problem is the 5's laid up. Oh, what's he doing? He's tying this up?
No, he's
just laying on top of it?
Yeah, that's what he's doing.
Dangerous.
That's what I was thinking. Where's the cue ball going to go after he shoots it? You know, he's probably figuring that even if he comes back with a safety, I may have a better option.
No, I agree.
Than the one I just had. I
agree. I just thought that shot alone may get away from him and leave a little kiss shot on the 5. What my worry up here in the booth.
Yeah, as long as he stayed low on the 2. I mean,
yeah, he's got to use the 7-8 going up table, but the problem is he leaves a heck of a good kick shot with the 5 hanging. So Mario kind of pinned a little bit here. He's like I said, he's got to use the 7-8, but unless he moves the 2 more than I think he's gonna leave an easy shot.
Well, he looks like he left a stiff. He was fortunate here. He left a stiff here. Now,
I think he can make it.
You think?
Yeah, he can get in deep enough, and now the thing is he's going to have to stop his ball.
You think the 5 goes?
I think so.
Wow.
I think so. I think he can get in deep enough. Now, if he hits it 100 miles an hour, maybe it bobbles, but now, does it double kiss? That's the one I'm wondering. Can he come across the top side of it and make the 2 double kiss the 5 in? I think that's
what I'm thinking.
Yeah, with
that's
a high
what
ball.
I'm thinking, yeah.
That's the one I like.
Yeah. Double.
Oh, see, he made that easy.
Yeah. Now, from my vantage point, it didn't look like he could make it, but evidently the way you saw it was the right way.
Light speed. Yeah, I think if he hits it hard, he may jaw it, kind of like make the ball kind of stand up.
Oh, he might have to draw it back and play the 3 in the same pocket. Now he's going to play the 3 in this side, which is obviously a better route.
Yeah, simple. And, you know, maybe Mario didn't see that little soft kick coming when he played that first safety.
Well, he was pretty restricted to what he could do.
Yeah, what he could do, for sure. But still, maybe didn't anticipate that. You know, you don't see that a lot in 9-ball where the guy kicks very soft and lays you on the ball because most of the time these players can make the cue ball run and get an easy safety. But Alex saw little things ahead with that 5-ball hanging and a pretty smart shot there.
Now, he has an option to go forward or back.
I like one rail just straight at it.
You like one rail?
Well, the 7 tells me that I want an angle on this. If I come back at it, I could get kind of straight off angle on the 6.
I think he's going to go one rail.
Yeah. One rail on the slick table, man, you really got to get used to it. It's really kind of like makes the game a lot easier.
And plus, it keeps him on the right angle here as well.
Yeah.
So you can go around the 7 natural.
You know, and 90% of shots when you draw the ball for these guys, the speed should still be good. But one thing that I see a lot of times on the slick table, when you get into the cue ball, and you have to get into the cue ball whenever you draw the ball, if you're off a little bit, it can get away from you quickly.
No, he's going to come out of the upper right-hand corner deep. This is going to be a pretty tricky here. Yeah, I like drawing it. I don't like coming out of the corner.
Just play the 8
straight
in
across.
The lower quarter.
Yeah,
right?
I like drawing it as well.
Oh, he pinched it well.
Wow.
He pinched it well.
Yeah, I didn't think he could get back as nice. nicely as he did.
Knowing Alex, that's a good sign right there, feeling very confident in the timing of the swing to get a bunch on the ball. So I kind of look for Alex not to make many mistakes here in this match.
Yeah, he hit that shot very nicely, getting that nice draw, quick draw right back.
And not taking much time with the clearance, right? Now 4-1 Pagulayan.
Yeah, he looks like he's playing really well.
You can see the main arena here. UTEC 2021 International 9-Ball Open. Brought to you by Accu-Stats and Pat Fleming. And Pat's just seen him. I've never seen him sit the entire week so far. Billy, I don't know if you have or not.
He's a busy man.
Yeah.
A busy man. He picked me up at the airport. His phone must have rang 5 times on the way to the venue here.
Yeah. Well, I know in the last week I've called him at least 5 times myself or messaged him or whatnot. And
yeah.
Patty always answers with that nice, hey, this is Pat. And,
yes, sir.
Yeah. He's ready to help you however he can. And
very accommodating person.
Yes, he is. No coincidence who's over there practicing in the corner about 7 hours before his match starts. Who is that over there? Captain America, Shane Van Boning over here in this left corner. You see him over there, the big guy? I called him last night. Was talking to some other players, take advantage of Q Masters down the road to get that extra practice in. That's one accommodating thing about this tournament.
But they're all gold crowns.
No, they're diamonds. They have gold crowns on one side. They have 72 tables in that place.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know how they keep doing it, but a great pool room, a long-lasting pool room, and has been a big part of this event for a long time. That's where they had the straight pool this week. The 2 Russians got into the finals, but I called Shane last night, and he said, "Yeah, I just got done with a little session over at Q Masters." So a lot of people can learn from that guy how much time he puts in, right?
Looks like on this shot here, Jeremy.
Just take the shot on the 4.
That's it. Just go cross by the side pocket, and
I'll tell you what, he might let it go. 1, 2, 3, 4 rails back and forth, trying to get by the 8.
Risky.
Ooh, he squeezed it home and got past the side.
Nice stroke.
Well, that's a little bit of extra knowledge, knowing he could use a little of the rail on the 3.
Yes. Without that, he couldn't have gotten past the side.
Right.
Now, the rest of the rack seems really rather routine. Everything is positioned nicely.
I'll tell you, Europe has named their team for this year. But Mario, he is definitely going to be a Moscone Cup player multiple time, in my opinion, before his career ends. He's already shown, and it's nice to have a countryman and partner like Albin Ocean in the World Cup of Pool, of course. But he's already shown what a great doubles player he is. They've won that event twice, and I believe they've gotten beat in the finals twice. And you talk about a big event, something that pays, I think next year it may look towards like $60,000 each for the winning team.
Really?
Yeah. Before pandemic, it was going to be a $500,000 purse.
Wow.
Yeah, it had to go back to, I think, $300 this year, but I think Matchroom looking to make it even bigger coming soon. Big shot here to get back on the board. Little light with the cue ball. Little hair quick with the stroke, you could say, so that kind of makes the ball stun a little more than rotate. So can't look past this one to cut the scoreline to 4-2.
Yeah, this is not a gimme by any means.
No. Usually attacks with a low outside ball on this type of shot, Mario. And 4-2 after 6 games.
Yeah, you're pretty comfortable. Most players are to hit that type of a shot with a low outside ball. You know exactly how much deflection is going to take place because you shoot that shot so often.
Yeah, and what happens also is, when you're running a rack, right? Your cue ball and everything is it gets dialed in because you're going particular places with the cue ball, right? So everything gets detailed and it gets very accurate. Where a lot of amateurs, they shoot the 9 and they never designate the cue ball at all. So they miss a lot of 9 balls just because they kind of get down and shoot it, and whatnot. Where, Mario's not playing safe right there when he shoots the 9 just in case he misses.
Right.
But going to that end rail for the good players, that's
Right.
the feeling they want as far as the speed.
Exactly.
That's the point for the cue ball, right?
Right,
So it
right.
makes the aim and everything else match up.
Right, exactly. In other words, you have a couple different methods of hitting the ball accurately.
Right. So it's not like he really looks to the end rail. It almost becomes inherent and instinctive for the top players. But I see a lot of amateurs, they make a beautiful run. They get on the 9, and they don't really have anywhere to go with the cue ball, so they don't get as focused, right?
Yeah,
and they miss a lot of 9 balls.
You want to feel not only the object ball but the cue ball as well.
Sure.
You put them both together, you're going to get an accurate hit.
Yeah, that's what makes aiming is speed, right? I mean, speed has everything to do with how you aim. So, and that's another thing. You'll see an amateur, they'll run a rack, and they'll have a little scratch shot on the 9, and they'll address it and hit the ball a lot better because they have to avoid the scratch, right?
Right.
Yeah, so they get a little more detailed and a little better on the 9 balls.
They start tweaking the shot.
Exactly, yeah. It's like a normal shot then. They have to do something with the cue ball. Mm-hmm. But you'll see the pros wrap the corner and it's not a coincidence. They always seem to be drifting off that third rail to the end rail with the cue ball.
Not only is it a better way of
addressing the shot,
pocketing the ball, but it keeps you disciplined.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it keeps you doing everything like you did on every shot. Make the ball, cue ball has some meaning somewhere, all that.
Yeah, but a lot of players get careless.
Sure.
Not only on the 9 ball, but other balls as well. So if you practice that method and that technique or whatever you would call it, I think you'll be a much better player, have much more consistency.
Well, if he feels good laying him down 2 rails behind the 7, that's the shot. If he doesn't feel good, I would pass this. The only reason I say that is if you don't get the snooker laying the 2 on the back rail, your opponent's going to put you behind the 6 on the next shot. So you have to see the process of things. I think behind the 7 here, Billy?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's the shot I saw.
And he's got him.
Well, I don't know. Now, this is what I was talking about. If you don't get him, which he did, good chance you might be behind the 6 on the return shot. Great hit there, though. Is he going to tie a ball up again here? The 4 and the 8? Or the 5 and the 8, excuse me? I'll tell you, the way this lays, tying up the 5-8 is not the worst proposition. I know he can hit this. This is not the problem, but what's he going to come away with? Oh, wow, what a hit. What a shot, Alex Pagulayan.
Yeah, well, he's such a great player that, he has all the shots.
Well, the thing is, some of us can see that, right? But that's a hard one to pull the trigger on. I mean, that could go real sour real quick and look kind of idiotic in a manner, which you can't worry about that too much, right?
There's a combination of things that runs through your mind why you select certain options.
Got to kick this hard, Billy? I think the way
he's
the
got to
ball's
shorten
laid
it
up.
He's got to shorten it up, so therefore.
Plus no position with the soft kick. Oh, unlucky there.
It is unlucky, but he hit too much ball. He wanted to cut the ball a little bit more. But of course, when you shoot a shot like that, with that type of an angle, it's very, very difficult to determine exactly where that cue ball is going, particularly when you hit it with a hard speed.
Yeah, you just, go with what you've practiced for and you get the best feeling you can on those kick shots. He had to kick firm, though, just because he's going to be, in jail if he kicks soft behind the 4-6. Need an angle here just a little bit. Well, he got a little more than I thought.
Maybe too much.
Well, now he's going to come across the 7, I guess.
Yeah, he wanted to go between the 5 and 9.
Yeah.
But now he's going to have to gamble with the 7 here. He's got to make sure he clears the 7 here.
He'll use a little rail maybe on the 4. Oh, he hit it clean.
Nice.
Alex releasing the cue pretty well. I like seeing that. No steering of the cue.
But you got to be careful here now. I don't know.
I think the 5 will come up.
I think he's got to draw the ball here, though.
I'll tell you what draw does is so good. It makes the 5 release a little bit. A high ball, he could stick on the 8, making with the 5 ball. Draw, watch. Oh, did he miss cue? It looked like he kind of came up a little bit.
It looks like he's got a little awkward here. They'll go forward
Yeah,
with the inside English. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't think I put a ton of inside on this. I'd rather take a hair more cut. It's not going to grab a ton for you anyway. See how you just put straight?
Right. And I like what you said there. I'd rather have a little more cut on the 7 ball as opposed to applying the inside English on the 6, which makes it much more missable.
Yeah.
So therefore, make sure you pocket the ball and take a little more difficult shot. You figure to make 99% of the time, anyways.
Yeah, and you're doing a lot of the same things. And I always talk about it. Just figure where's the best place to work a little more. Do I want to work a little more on the 6 with inside, or do I want to work a little more on the 7?
Right, and that answers the question what you should do with the 6.
Yeah, exactly. Now, if it's absolutely necessary, you got to put the inside, but it wasn't. And Alex Pagulayan looks awfully good here early, 5-2. Mario, he really hadn't had much of anything wrong besides the scratch on the break.
No, he hasn't. He's scratching the break, and he scratched right there on that difficult kick.
Right.
So therefore, it's been all Pagulayan. It's what he's done as opposed to what Mario hasn't done.
Yeah, no pun intended there with the he.
He.
Yeah, that's right. Well, this is a race to 10. You can see it. When we go to the final 32, it does go to 11. That'll start this evening. We'll have one round, I believe it is. The juniors, I believe, start tomorrow. That's going to be fun to watch. Love seeing the future of pool and everything that comes along with it. I think actually we'll see a lot more of the stands feel, of course, approaching the weekend, but I think the juniors will have a lot to do with that. Now Mario, he'll stick to the cut break. Now, interesting, they're both breaking from different sides. Watch out for the side pocket. Okay, he got one past. I don't see a complying break. But that's the thing. If you hit it a little too thin on the cut break, you don't get enough into the rack.
I mean, you get clusters then.
Well, and you're not complying as well. That's the biggest issue, right?
Well, if you pocket it, I see.
He only made one.
Okay,
he only made one.
Yeah, you're not going to get the action on the balls that you need to get to comply.
Exactly. You're not getting enough power into the rack is what's going on. And I'll tell you another adjustment you can make. So this is tricky, right? This break.
Yeah.
The other adjustment you can make is don't hit so low with the draw, because then you're not hitting enough cue ball, right? Which doesn't get as much into the rack also. So, raise the tip a little bit so you hit a little higher, a little more meat of the cue ball, which gets you a little more energy into the rack.
Yeah, exactly. Good point.
Few adjustments you can make.
Good point.
All right, funny little shot here. He's got angle. He's got to really pound it. He's going one rail. Yeah, I don't know if that'll get there.
No, it wasn't going to get there. It never was. Unless he played. Do you think he played to go on the other side of the five?
No, not at all. Not at all. He wasn't very low on the cue ball at all doing that.
Okay.
I'm surprised he maybe didn't gamble with the 2 rails, trying to float in there. And the reason why I say that is he can always play a very devastating safety if he kind of gets on top of the 3 and doesn't get a shot. Yeah, that was hard. That was always going to be hard right there.
Yeah.
Nice catch, Kenny Shulman, by the way.
Now he's given the luxury of ball in hand, which he may need because of the position of the 4, partially hidden behind the 6. So he's got to get pretty good on the 4 with ball in hand. That makes that task a lot easier.
Yeah, if the 5 passes the 8, he shouldn't have any problems. He can shoot the 3 in the side, roll forward, cut the 4 in, and come across for the 5 in the same pocket as the 8's laying. So
right.
I think that's what he just sized up a moment ago. He took a little glance at the 5 ball.
Yeah. And this is much better than drawing out of the corner for the 4.
Absolutely.
Because you have much better control of the direction the cue ball is going to go.
Yeah,
and also the speed as well.
The touch is the main thing. You know,
Yeah.
There's a lot of factors. I know some of them you shouldn't ever factor in, but it is part of it. You never miscue it, but top English either.
Yeah, right.
But the way I compare that, you know, and I think it's pretty obvious to preach to students that, hey, you want to follow when you can with ball in hand, but it's like throwing a ball in front of you versus throwing a ball behind you. Which one you're going to be more accurate with?
And that's exactly what Buddy Hall said. He's when I talk with him, I've talked with him a lot, you know. And he said, no, you want to follow the ball when given an option.
Yeah. Don't make it ridiculous. Don't squeeze it behind an object ball next to the rail just to follow it, of course. And don't take a horrible angle into a side pocket.
When you have ball in hand and you have that option with ball in hand, have a tendency to go ahead and follow it more often. Just have that in your mind. Just follow it more often. You'll get better results.
That's right. And it's amazing, though. I do see a lot of top players maybe not put in the process of thinking about the follow, but they'll initially get down and draw the ball with ball in hand. And, of course, in a perfect world, you're not supposed to make a mistake with ball in hand either way, but when you think long term, I guarantee a follow is going to hold up a little bit more than draw.
Absolutely, it's sometimes very difficult when you draw the intermediate range to put that cue ball down where you need it. But if you want to follow the ball intermediate range, you'll see the difference in the results. If you continue to follow the ball, and then all of a sudden you draw the ball, and say, "Hey, I should have followed the ball."
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. You know,
got a little flat here. I thought he would play with much more angle or underneath. He could have rolled that ball or stunned to the end rail very easily.
He'll just have to play the 9 in the upper corner.
Maybe so. But he's an extremely good position player. So to miss his target there, a little surprising, but shouldn't cost him. Jeremy Sose still in it, playing Aloysius Yap. Oh, sweet stroke there. And you notice how he smoothed it around. That's what you need to do on the dry table, the slick table. That way you hit your line with the cue ball. Back on the board, 5-3.
He actually could have played that either way, but if you have the confidence to play it two cushions, like you said, so effortlessly, then that would be the correct shot then. And that's, once again, there's a follow shot.
Yeah, besides...
if you know that you're going to get that true follow.
Yeah, besides a couple scratches on the break, I mean, there was a kicking scratch from Mario, but hard to label that as a real error. He did make the ball he was kicking at. It just kind of hugged and followed it right in the corner, the cue ball did. But so far, a pretty high-level match between the two players.
Oh, absolutely. And there's a lot of good playing left to watch. I really enjoy watching two upper echelon players perform. You know, I mean, it becomes a test of will and everything. It's really something.
Naoki Oi practicing on one of the outer tables, man. He's been a tough guy this last 2 months. Semifinalist. Semifinalist in the U.S. Open. Finalist in the Predator World 10 Ball. Made a deep run in a very difficult Texas State Open. Had a lot of world-class players. He's a tough guy on that one-loss side. It's going to be fun to watch today, and I personally hope he advances. Nothing personal against his opponents, but he is awfully good for big tournaments.
I watched him in the matchroom tournament at the U.S. Open.
Yeah, he's a fighter.
Oh, he played good. He played good.
He's a fighter.
In the meantime, that cross break has scratched cross-side 33% of the time, 3 times out of 9 racks.
Yeah.
So maybe we have to make an adjustment on our discretion call there.
Well, that's what I've heard, you know, that when I talk to other players and we talk about their wins and losses, it's like, well, I didn't comply 2 or 3 times. I got kissed in a couple times. So now he's in good position here. The 4 next to the 5, the 6 over the pocket.
You want to get straight on the 4, though. That's real important. This is a very key shot coming up. You'd like to get straight on the 4. All you need to do is then stop the ball. And he pulls it over. If anything, he wants to get to the lower side of the 4 as opposed to the other side, so he can draw away from the 5.
Yeah, like Billy's saying, he'd like to come backwards with the cue ball, maybe 2 to 3 inches here. Could just stop and draw the ball. The 6 is so accessible. Just don't get extreme on the 5 one way or another. Yeah, the 6 is so good, you don't really have to work your ball too much.
And a slight cut carries a natural path to get on the correct side of the 7.
Yeah, just a hair of outside English. Right?
Considering the 8's on the inside, you want to stay on the outside of the 7. Like Jeremy said, just a half a tip of right-hand English will put you on the right side of the 7. And he's taking a good look at it.
Yeah, and if he feels good about the speed, he can go a little deeper with the right English and get that angle quicker. Meaning don't get as close to the 7 maybe, but make sure he gets that angle. So maybe he flicks this in with a good tip of right, maybe. We'll see. You see how he tried to get to that angle quickly. And that's smart. Don't come in so tight on the 7 expecting speed to be so good.
A little more spin maybe.
Yeah, broaden the angle, right?
Mm-hmm. Anyways, he's gotten pretty good on the 7.
Yeah, it's just like perfect, besides being maybe a hair closer to it.
Mm-hmm. I like when I right across table here.
Yeah, he probably catches the second rail here.
I think going across table, I think he will increase the accuracy of the shot a little bit.
Yeah, he's actually just kind of perfect, really, to keep that medium speed.
And it looks like after 9 games, we're going to have a close match here. And it couldn't get any closer, 5-4.
Yeah, and really on serve now with Mario breaking in game number 10. We'll see what he can do to. I think he'll. The thing with Mario, right? He's had a scratch.
2 of them.
No, Alex has had 2.
Well, Mario scratched on the break.
His first, and that was
and
it.
Kicked in, and it scratched on a kick.
Yeah, so Alex has scratched twice, and Mario's scratched once. But what I was going to get at is Alex, the only issue so far on the break is a couple scratches. Now, Mario hasn't complied twice and had some really funny racks all jumbled up here on the bottom. So he's not only got to worry about the cue ball that he's lost once, but he's also got to start complying on the break as well.
Absolutely. And, I'm so, unconscious of the
3-point rule.
The 3-point rule that, I'm not really factoring into my thinking.
Right.
Well,
I think they made a good adjustment this year. If you make 2, that the rule isn't really you don't have to get 3 points, because you can obviously see there are balls that are going to cross. He'll love that one. Balls that are going to cross, but they can easily get kissed and held up, and it's kind of like out of the player's hands. Boy, is this like ball in hand angle to get on the 3? Mm-hmm. Besides a little stretch for Mario, he wants the cue ball kind of backwards at now.
Exactly. That's the perfect angle for the 3 to drop to go up table for the 5. And he's looking at the straight angle on the 3, and that's kind of like little touchy.
Kind of a drill I use a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead.
Come back to where I'm at. Come back to where I'm at. It's amazing how often that comes up. Oh, he let up a little bit. He's going to get that angle, but it's going to be much thinner than he desired.
So therefore, I think he's going to have to do something special with the cue ball here. And I don't know if he can hold it with one rail cross.
Oh, he can get across the table, past the side.
He's got to get a lot of spin then.
Well, he's going to let it go. And he's not going to try and hold for the good pocket on the 5. I think he's going to let this go, getting past the 6, and get short side on the 5.
Yeah, but that scratch is available too.
Nah, he'll get past that. Watch how far the 3 is off the rail. That tells you can get past the side easily if you hit it well. Now, he caught it thick.
Yeah.
On that 10-footer, that ball slides in.
Had he made up his mind to go 2 cushions and play the 5 on the short side,
that's what I would have done.
He wouldn't have cut it thin.
Exactly.
He would have cut it thinner, I'm saying.
I agree totally. And I think that's what the shot laid for.
Yeah. So.
Difficult shot here. because it's so deep on that point, and the 7-9 are really hurting him. So he's got to kind of smooth it around rail first. Maybe gets to the head string on the left side rail. Oh, great shot. I didn't know he could do that. It
was a great shot. He got a little unfortunate to run into the 6, but he does have a shot in the 5. But that hit from that distance.
Beauty, huh?
And if he don't hit that ball as nicely as he did, he's stuck in this end of the table.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't really think that was much of an option for Alex, but he sure did hit it well.
But the rail first, you had to hit a thin ball, too.
Absolutely, and you had to creep it around, kind of. If you hit it with any speed, it kind of hugs on this bottom rail and definitely doesn't get up table.
Yeah, so therefore, it's what's the lesser of both evils there.
Yeah, well, I just didn't know he could do it. It's not like, he just hit it really, really well.
And that's another testament to his ball striking skill.
Yeah, and also his brain, because you notice he didn't overhit that. Again, even the shot he hit, if you overhit it, it kind of bends a little and probably goes into the 7 anyways. So besides a couple scratches on the break, Alex been pretty perfect. You can see 923, now 925 for the TPA. Mario He, very good as well at 878. Little 3 rails here. Going right at the 9. Moving right along after 10 games, Alex Pagulayan is going to take another 2-game lead and will be breaking in game number 11.
I think he's going to take a break here. Mention something to Kenny, and that's what he's doing. He's going to take a break here.
Anytime you play 9-ball rotation, the break's always going to get talked about.
But what I don't really understand is that why are they so, opting to go with that cross break, as opposed to just the power break,
Yeah.
I mean, because we've already seen 3 scratches.
Well, the thing is, with the power break,
you can't ignore that.
Yeah, there's no guarantees on which ball. Like, at least with the cut break, the guys feel like, all right, it's in my hands to make the one in the side with the cut break. So they want to, very much focus on making a ball. Now, I've recommended to a couple players, because I did this a few years ago, I started off every match with the cut break. I'd go about halfway through, see me struggle, my opponent struggle, and then I'd just bear down and crush them from the center. And I'd pour balls in and kind of separate myself in the match. A few years ago, I made a run at the U.S. Open with this same format. And I told a few players the same thing. Don't sit here and be stubborn. And here's another scratch cross side.
That's 4 now.
Yeah, and 3 of them from Alex.
So therefore, you don't comply and you scratch cross side. I mean, those are 2 very bad penalties.
Yeah, I agree.
The consequence is very bad.
I agree.
It's like the difference.
Yeah. But the problem is these guys have match times, Billy, and they have it to where it's been successful also. You know what I mean? So they look at both of those things. Hey, I ran 5 racks using this in my last 2 matches, out of my 8 breaks or 10 breaks.
I can only evaluate it off of this match.
No, of course, but they're evaluating off both is what I mean.
It'd be great if we had someone keeping stats on that, not only in this match, but for the whole tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. We do have a camera on every table. One beautiful thing that
one day someone might take a look
Pat
at
Fleming has put together here this year for your pay-per-view pleasure.
Because we're talking about the most important shot in 9-ball, the break.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's the most important shot. For people to make a determination without really understanding the percentages, it's kind of risky.
Yeah.
Especially if they're on the wrong side of it.
Right. Well, the thing is, one good thing you can say, and these guys, whether it's written down or just, in that brain of theirs, I doubt it's written down, but this isn't the first time they played the 3-point rule. The 3-point rule's been around now for several years, so they've all toyed around with all kinds of breaks and match play situations and evaluated. I got to believe they feel like this is the best way still. And the guy we were talking about a moment ago, who I think is still the tournament favorite, Shane Van Boening, he feels the same. And I'm not sure anybody can really break the percentages of the breakdown more than him.
There's been quite a few times where good players feel that one method is better than another, and they were wrong.
No, I get that.
They were wrong.
No, I get
but,
that.
But if you have enough great players feeling one way, even if it's wrong, that's going to be the trend.
Yeah, right.
That's going to be it. Like, how many years have people said, well, 8-7 is better than 10-8? There's no way 8-7 is better than 10-8.
Yeah, right.
Okay, but a lot of good players feel that it is.
Yeah, I never thought that.
There's no way that 8-7 is better than 10-8. I mean, how do you figure that?
There goes Billy talking about one pocket again.
Well, I'm sorry. But,
Mario Heat taking advantage of another ball in hand. 6-5. Yeah, I do get it. I'll tell you, the break that I see, if you can get down, is the same break, but one that, if you can get the speed down, is one with just a little less speed. It seems like you get a little better hit on the one. You don't really flirt with that side near as much. There's a few players that have gotten that down.
So, yeah, well, so far I'm not a proponent to the cut break. I'm just not.
Well,
Maybe,
like I said,
maybe next year it'll be different. I'll have more experience with watching it. And
well, the thing is, you can't be afraid to change mid-match.
well, no,
even if it
but
helped
that's
you
not
last
right-
match,
that's
you
not,
can't be afraid.
I'm not afraid to change.
No, I mean one of these players. They got to,
Oh, yeah.
even though it helped in the last matches, that's why they're maybe still doing it, however you want to label it. But they can't be afraid to change mid-match. Because like I said, it really helped me a few years ago. I would sit there and play half the match, breaking as same as my opponent, sometimes successful, sometimes not. And then about midway through, I'd go to crushing them, Billy, and I'd make balls.
Yeah.
And run racks and
Right.
kind of separate myself.
So-
Now, that
so-
was winter break, though. This is alternate break. All right, now he went low of the rack. This is the one that, of course, there's a scratch possibility there, but this is the horrible situation.
Yeah,
If
but
you go low of the rack, you got to roll out.
You lose your cue ball.
Right.
I mean, I don't want to do that. I don't want to go low at the rack so I don't scratch and lose my cue ball and make a ball in the break. Then I'm at a disadvantage.
Yeah, hard to roll out to this long railer against Alex. I'd like to maybe put the 5 on the 8 or something. I don't know. Maybe try and make something a little tougher. He blocked the bank.
Blocking the bank. Therefore, it's a free bank because of the balls surrounding the foot spot. It's not kind of like,
Yeah.
But why give him a free bank to make it with that ball configuration there around the foot spot? I wouldn't want to do that, so he opted to block the bank and give him the shot. You almost have to still take it. I don't know. I mean, you almost have to still take it.
Well, what I'm wondering is he's still going to bank the 2 down there and
I
put the
would think
cue ball
so. I
over
would
here
think
on the
so.
side
He's
rail.
got so much protection. I don't see anything better.
No, edging the ball very dangerous in this position. No real great route, and it's very off angle. So I'd play the 2 down still. You never know.
You want to play the cue ball near the other side pocket a little bit. That's the speed that you have to hit it with, like this.
Oh, he didn't want to catch the point.
No. And he might. Can he pocket the 2 in
I think
that
the
corner?
2 goes between the 4 and 8, yeah.
That's pretty unlucky there. But that's the shot I saw. Because he had a lot of protection.
I'm a hair surprised Alex passed it, a little bit. Not saying it was great, but I kind of understand both viewpoints, what I mean, him passing or not passing it. It wasn't crystal clear shot, right?
Yeah, but he made a real good shot when he blocked the bank. He put a lot more, indecision out there. And that's what you want to do when you have to push. You want to push to a position where your opponent is really undecided, really what he wants to do, if anything at all.
Now, Alex, a little flick with inside, I think, anyways. Doesn't mind drawing the ball a little bit off the 4 if he has to. Alex very good at holding the ball off of a little bit of an angle also.
That's what he'll do if, in fact, the angle suggests that's possible.
Yeah, he'll just pinch it. No reason to move it. Like I said, he's very, very good, and that's straight low English. Anytime you want to hold a little bit of an angle, don't think you need side spin.
No.
Side spin actually works against you in that regard.
Yeah, it pushes the ball away from the object ball.
Exactly. If you put left, it wants to jerk left a little bit. You put right, same thing, it wants to jerk right a little bit. Straight low really holds the angle the best.
if at all possible, it's the reverse English that'll give you a better hold.
But there, you're talking about another factor that I stay away
Accuracy,
from. Yeah, exactly. Justin Bergman's the best I've ever seen at holding the angle. It's unreal the angles he can hold the cue ball from. All right, I think he should cheat this to come up with the cue ball.
He may end up with playing the 8 underneath him.
I would cheat it myself.
It
goes in the side. Never mind. I thought he had to play the corner.
Okay.
This makes a very good sense.
Doesn't appear that the side's even available.
Right.
But now it does from the overhead.
And Alex keeping that 2-game lead. He's just really got to shore up the break to extend it. He will break in the next. Got a lot going on here at the International. You can see our performance average, break performance average, 4 scratches on the break, 3 by Alex. Other than that, fairly successful besides losing the cue ball. The other 3 were very successful. Now Mario's had 1 scratch, but he's had some non-complying breaks as well. So both these guys want to raise that percentage on the break stats.
The non-compliance breaks, they're taxing, but they're nowhere near as taxing as the scratching on the break. Therefore, you really have to take a strong look on your scratch percentage with that cut break.
Excuse me on that. I thought it moved to a race to 11 in the final 32. It stays a race to 10 till the final is a race to 13. And he likes that making the 1. So he just across the spot. That's the thing. Right, just like that.
Boy, that's a nice break there.
And you got a kiss on the cue ball he's not going to love.
No, it looks like he's ended up behind the 3. Now, the 6 blocks a portion of the pocket, so therefore it makes that push a little easier.
Well, he may have an edge on the 2 here, Billy. If he's got an edge, he may go.
Yeah, of course, if he has an edge.
Now he's going to roll out to the kick right here. We are playing a little different rules, of course, than the 10 ball. Jump cues are allowed. So very hard to roll out to a jump. He'll roll out behind the 3 to this kick shot.
Yeah, but he can roll out because of the position of the 3. And he can roll out. He can go up table right where he is now and roll up there. He's thinking about that. See, the position of the 3 is going to be hard to get on for position off the 2 with a cut. So,
yeah.
And
do you roll out and make the 7?
And the shot itself is going to be very difficult. So therefore, he should consider that as a possible option. I'd venture to say that whatever he decides to do is probably going to be correct. Keep in mind that he's also playing an upper echelon player, so therefore, your decision is not really black and white here. It also depends on the caliber of player you're playing. He's saying, okay, I'm not going to roll out and give him that cut on the 2 because even if he goes 2 cushions, he can always cut the 3 in from up table. I'm going to give him something to
Did he make a mistake and not leave himself this rail, Alex? His gesture made me think that maybe he didn't leave himself the rail to kick to here with the 6 and the 3 being there.
If you look at the monitor, it doesn't look like he can kick to the side rail.
Yeah, that's a big mistake if that's the case. He's going to have to jump the edge of the 3 maybe. Oh, no, he's leveling out so that he feels like he can get there. He may have to jump this.
I don't know if you're correct. He does have to jump
Cross side, maybe?
And when you jump it, you're going to put more speed on it than you want.
Yeah, but I think cross side is okay. I really do. I mean, you're going to cut it a hair, but it will lengthen on this table, and you're pushing the ball up table. Now, the 7 hanging, that's a problem. He's left it tough, but doable.
Oh, yeah. He had a nice draw stroke here. Now he's on like an awkward angle. Even if he draws it, it looks like the cue ball is going to come close to the 3. Unless he follows it.
He's got such a sweet stroke, I think he'll follow this ball.
And following it, he's going to have to hit it with some pretty good speed, which is going to reduce the size of that pocket.
Well, I hope he goes with a high ball here, and I hope he shows you how smooth he can hit this around to the head string a couple rails. This is the difference in today's game, how clean these guys can hit this shot. Oh, he overcut it. Very quick backswing for Mario. Actually, he's a little longer usually and smoother with that backswing.
And he missed it by
well, that's that deflection when you overhit it. Remember we talked about the deflection on the slicker felt, the TV felt?
Yeah. He's going to have to dig down and play 2 cushions toward the 5 here.
Cue ball where it's at now.
Yeah, right. That's going to dig down, and if he can get the cue ball to where it is now, you're going to accept that a little more difficult shot on the 3, but I think that's his best shot.
A little bit more pace than he wanted, but that'll carry him a little closer to the 3. So actually, it's ideal, isn't it? Just a hair of English to come 1 rail, floating into position. I wouldn't use 2 here. I don't know. It's close.
No English at all.
No English? That doesn't bring the 9? I thought he a little bit of left. Oh.
Got a shot for the side, which is
Beauty.
Exactly where he wanted to be. Now everything's starting to clear up for him.
He's got to draw this a hair, so a very unforgiving side pocket by Diamond Products. When they first hit the scene, that was one of the big talk discussions, right, Billy, is how tough the sides were on the Diamond.
Yeah, I remember that,
no
problem.
Yeah, nothing difficult there. Now the 7 is deep, right?
It's deep. You really want to get to the end rail here off the 6. I like
going down. Do you go crazy on it, though? Do you really draw the ball all the way?
Yeah, I like going, you
might as well,
nothing to lose. You have nothing to lose. Just get down there,
Right.
If you can get to the end rail, that would be the ideal spot to get. And that's what he feels, too.
No, that definitely leans you towards the... Even if you come up a little bit, it's okay.
He can even play this rail first, providing he'll miss that point.
It's deep. I think I go a heavy ball first here. Yeah.
If the ball was out a little further, rail first.
Yeah, rail first is nice, and Alex really utilizes rail first a lot.
And it's going to be a decision right here whether he should do it or not.
Now this is the key: don't hit it thin, amateurs. You got to hit a full hit and creep it up like that. That way you're accurate how it comes out of the pocket. A lot of them want to cut the ball a little more, and then you, like you said, catch that point, right?
Yeah, right. You don't want to catch the point, and that's where your problems.
Yeah, it's hard to predict, Now
he's going to try cross table here.
2 rails.
Staying on the short side of the side.
Yeah. And it's amazing, just in a day when they moved this table in compared to the 10-footer, I think a lot of players would have entertained coming 2 rails for the side on the 10-footer. I swear I saw it for 3 days. So now Pagulayan stretches it out a little bit, 3-game lead.
Right. He was very fortunate after having to use the jump cue to leave a type of an angle on the 2 that was a little problematic. And obviously he didn't do well with it.
Well, I know Mario got a shot there on the 2, and it's one he's supposed to bury. It's one he buries most of the time. But to be honest with you,
when you use that inside English, you're going to give that deflection.
Of course, if you're off a little bit, and like I said, it was a little bit of a quick transition. But what I'm getting at is like Federer right there. I bet Federer banks at that 2 cross side also. There was an element of safety involved there and making the ball, leaving some distance, right, with the 3 back. I don't think he really – I think he saw Alex wanted to kick.
But you know what I think he's thinking about?
Just the kick.
Losing the cue ball.
Just the kick, though. Yeah, but it was a little below it. It wasn't terrible. You know what I mean? Like Alex overcut the bank on the 2 and still didn't lose the rock too much. So just I think, I won't want to say overlooked that. I just don't think it ever really, looked like much of an option for him.
He didn't
non-complying again.
Oh, wow. I don't like that rule myself.
Well, I don't think it's a rule that's going to stick around just because it's a brutal rule.
Rule.
You get kisses in the center of the table when you see an object ball obviously going to get past the head string.
What I don't understand is why are they trying to protect the breaker from not stop the breaker from not breaking them softly? Why? That's his choice. That's his choice how he wants to break them. If he can figure out a good way to break him softly where he has an advantage, so be it.
But that's the thing. Everyone can do it.
Yeah, well, that's okay then. Everyone can do it. It's fair then.
Yeah, but the only rule changes you see in sports, Billy, is to try and keep the integrity and the difficulty of the game. And once the template came, and the rack being so perfect, the game kind of went to nothing with this caliber of player. I mean, you're just not seeing pool at all. You're just going to see break, one in the corner, let's run out again. Break, one in the corner.
With the 3-point rule, it's unfair because you can break them hard.
I understand. I'm not saying this. I'm not saying it's perfect, but you got to see the reasoning. And there's changes coming, I think. But I mean, golf, they did the same thing. What they do, they tighten them up, they back the tees up. They got it. You have to try and keep the integrity of the game. The game is a difficult game, but once the equipment gets to the point to not make it difficult, you have to try and make changes. Not saying it's a perfect solution. It's not. But it's. I think if you ask the guys, the players, and those are the guys that I think mean the most when it comes to rules and all that, I think they would say I'd rather have this than everybody just be able to bing the corner ball in and be straight in on the one.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what I think anyways. I think if you took a poll, the players would say, yeah, it's brutal and maybe it's not exactly perfect just yet, but it's better than the game, basically a guy that's a couple levels at least, below you. He can beat you a lot of different ways.
So actually, that's the reason why the soft break is a big advantage because the corner ball keeps going in.
Yeah, and you can play position on the one without.
Are you talking about with the template then?
Yeah, with the template.
They don't use the template then.
Well, they do that in some.
In other words, if that's the reason why the soft break should be barred, breaking them softly with the template, it's a very easy remedy. Don't use the template.
Well, but there's other things to go with that, so.
What's the other thing?
What are you going to do? Rack for each other? All tournaments don't have referees. Look at the rack track now. Pagulayan with 3 in a row coming towards the end of this match. And up 9-5. So he's in a great position. He's going to get a few breaks to win the match at this level. Always talk about that. If you can get a few breaks, that's kind of what you want to do. Me, myself, especially tournament conditions, Billy, I think the thing that solves it all, or not solves it all, but the biggest solver is go to 4-inch pockets. I'm serious. I mean, I've been around the fans, for a while. All these promoters were under the illusion that fans just wanted to see breaker runs, and that's not the case.
Well, educated fans,
educate them.
If you go to the 4-inch pocket, then I understand. But if you really want to, make something out of the game, you're going to have to get more than just educated fans. You're going to have to get people that say, "Oh, he keeps running out. He keeps making balls. That's exciting. That's pretty good." With 4-inch pockets, you're not going to get that.
Well, there's been a lot more data on that than you think, Billy, and it's not as appealing to people as you think. TV producers have said it, all kinds of guys that are pretty hip when it comes to sports, and they've looked at footage of pool and said, man, that's just too easy. There's no drama. And me being experienced with the Moscone a few years ago when they tightened the pockets, you could feel the tension of everybody in the room knowing that, hey, any ball's missable. There's something to that. And I personally think that fans like to make decisions. There isn't much decision whenever you're straight in on the one every rack and everything's wide open. There's never a cluster and everything else. So as a whole, football fan and whatnot, I hear people say, oh, you should have ran it. Oh, you should have thrown it. Oh, this should have happened. That should have happened. And if you watch snooker, they appreciate the safety just as much as the high run.
Well, they're all educated.
Well, it takes time to educate them a little bit. It takes time. Just like any other sport. But back to the action. Me and Billy could argue about something all day, just in case that's not obvious. He's not shooting at this?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. He's cueing funny to me. Yeah, The 3 goes. I don't understand why he didn't cue at that.
Look what he did with the cue ball.
Yeah, but what if he, I still don't understand it. Was he too flat to get shape on the 2?
I don't know. Well, the 3 goes.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Was he too flat on the 2 to get shape on the 3? Like 2 straight in?
Yeah, well, there must have been a problem out there. Because he's not going to do that unless there's a problem.
Well, he's just got to let this one go here, 1 rail.
Yeah, and he hit it with some speed.
Yeah.
Can't be babying this kick.
No, I mean, he's going to put top thinking he can get at the 9. There is an opportunity there, but it's hard. Yeah, I would have ripped at that one myself.
I would have, yeah. I didn't like his chances of trying to create distance with that soft kick.
Now, the 2 does go by the 6 in the corner. It's tight. I kind of feel like he wants to shoot that versus having to roll the side
He's
pocket.
definitely going to shoot it in the corner because a position of the 3 and the available pockets for the 3. He's got to play it in the corner. He makes this, he figures to get out.
I don't know if he gets to the rail or not. I think he pinches it. Yeah, uses the pocket a little bit.
Well, he wanted to stay away from the rail, and that's the reason he missed it. Had he said, well, that's okay to get close to the rail, he would have made it.
Yeah.
He put too much importance on staying away from that rail, and it really affected the accuracy of the shot.
Lots going on here on the outer tables. Yap up 7-2. Believe he is playing Jeremy Sosa. Yeah, that's right. Now Mario, he's still got to work the ball a little bit. The 8's very available, so he doesn't have to come back for the side on the 6. He could lay on the side rail for the upper corner. Just kind of depends on where he gets here on the 5. That makes me think he'll draw the ball.
Yeah, he's got a nice angle to draw the ball here.
He's going to have to fade a few of Alex's breaks, of course. This will get it at 9-6. That'll put he breaking in the next game.
And he's also got to figure out how he's going to break him because hasn't been in compliance more often than he should.
That's right. Now, like I said, 9-6. I'll tell you, I wouldn't blame the big man if he just reared back and smashed him.
Yeah, maybe taking a little page out of your book.
I'll tell you what, there was one match that eluded me in the Final Four of the winners there against Chang, where I did the same thing, kind of broke like he did. We broke alike the first half of the match, and then I changed it, and I run the first rack, but then it kind of went dry on me. But I don't think it's a bad thing to do. Kind of feel like, these guys break very well head-on also. And he doesn't want to lose this match on another non-complying break.
Right.
So the rack track you saw right there again, Mario getting 1 in a row. He needs
because he
another
really can't
4.
He can't be happy. He can't be happy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The way the break's been going for him. So therefore, with that understanding, maybe he should go ahead and start breaking them hard.
Well, he's cueing low, so that's a cutter. Yeah, he put more speed into that one, though.
Yeah, he wanted to make sure that he didn't have to give up the table on non-compliance.
Yeah, I think Alex has got to roll out to what looks like a scratch both ways, meaning if Mario wants to pocket the 1 from the end rail, it's a scratch. So maybe a little right of the 2 on this first diamond here, maybe. And force him into the cut. Force him into clipping the ball and running safe somehow. I think if he rolls out, do you roll out straight in on the left side rail? That's the place I'm looking at right there, to where it's kind of a scratch both ways if he tries to cut the 1 offensively. Just a little past the first diamond, Billy.
I don't know, but he wants to get over because he wants to make that scratch more possible. More of a concern
He's
Now- now
he's
he-
not getting this back though. Ever.
Oh, I don't know about that. I mean, he's
Ever.
on the rail there.
Ever. He's going to overcut the one and run the cue ball before he gives this back. You can't shoot. You can't give
I
this
don't know
back.
if he can overcut it to his right.
No, I mean to the left.
That's very difficult. I don't know.
He doesn't have to creep it over too much. Pretty hard for me to believe he would get this back facing
Yeah.
Mario.
I guess he can hit it that accurate.
Yeah, he
You're
only
talking-
has to get it over a diamond off that side rail. It doesn't have to get it underneath the 8. You know,
Yeah,
you
right,
just play the
right,
cue ball down
right.
like that.
Ali
you know?
should have never pushed there then.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, he was in a difficult spot on the push.
Well, then he shouldn't have pushed there because you know what you're going to get there.
Yeah. The only other push I saw was on the left side rail, dead straight on the one. You know, kind of making it to where he can't draw the cue ball back for the 2. So, one thing you won't see Alex push out to near as much as some of the players is the jump.
He's going to mass it.
I think he can see this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not sure if he's playing a rail first or a ball first. Oh, look at
my,
that shave.
Oh, my. Oh, my.
That was thin.
Really?
So a bit of fortune there because
Now you can go.
He
You can
would-
bank. You can bank the 1-2 to his right now with the inside English.
I don't think the English would take, Billy, on the slick felt. Just knowing the slick felt, the TV table kind of felt, it's going to kind of like hug a little bit. It may get up to the head string with inside, but it's probably not going to go very, very far. I'd be surprised if he played that.
Yeah, it looks like it's much better. Maybe.
Still pretty good. And this is exactly what I was talking about earlier as far as some exchanges. And fans start to understand how great this part of the game is and really learn to fall in love with this part of the game.
Yeah. He's going to mass. He's going to try to get behind it.
Yeah, watch out. Cue ball going back into the 8.
And he's going to try to get behind it here.
Oh, he hit it sweet.
Nice.
He hit it sweet.
Nice.
There wasn't a whole lot of room to get behind that ball, ladies and gentlemen.
No, but he got the maximum out of that attempt.
Another
Very,
prime
very
example
nicely
of fans appreciating that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little more than the break and run. Got to go the side rail here. Looks pretty natural to me. You can come to the end rail between the 5 and 2, and there's some merit on that kick shot as well.
Yeah. Don't you think the side rail would be the better way?
That's the one I saw initially, but coming between the 5-2 and up into those balls, there's some, like I said, he can knock the 1 away and hit the 2 with the cue ball, get the 1 down there below the 6 somehow off the side rail. More I look at it, I think I kind of like this end rail.
The end rail's a little more consistent of a hit.
Yeah.
He's weighing it up now.
Yeah, well, the thing is he's got to get through a little gap there and apply a hair of English. I think this is the correct way. I really do. My gut tells me more and more that he could fluke this in the side. A lot of good things can happen. I was surprised he hit it that hard, to be honest with you. He's going to – now there's an open pocket by the 7, it looks like.
Also, the other side is open too.
Yeah.
If he wants that. Yeah, he'll probably play it to his right and draw the cue ball. Maybe I don't know if he can draw it. There's therefore going to the right underneath him. He's going to draw the cue ball. He might clip the 2 here.
Yeah, he's just got a light draw, though. He's not going to rip it. You know what I mean? Just got to kind of lightly draw the ball and take your chances. Make sure nothing bad happens if he catches the bottom of the 2.
Now he's got to use the bridge and go forward. And that's going to be, if he can reach it, I don't think he's tall enough to get over the table to reach it. And if he can't reach it, he's got to use the bridge. And using the bridge with this type of a shot, it's not going to be easy to execute at all. He's going back. Then that's what he's doing. Oh. That was interesting. Yeah, he wants to cut it, but put it behind the 8 and put the cue ball on the rail, on the bottom rail.
All right, going with the full cue jump. Well, now he's changing again. Josh Roberts up 9-5 over Mark Vidal.
Wow, this is an interesting shot here.
Yeah, he hit it great. That's all I can tell
Wow,
you.
that's so nice. That is so nice. And he hit it with the speed that indicated to me that he was so comfortable with that shot. You know, it's hard to pull the trigger on certain shots, and I thought that was one of those shots. But the way he addressed the table and hit that ball, he was very confident that he was going to get a good hit, which the results speak for itself. He did.
Yeah, look at Alex. He can play 2 different kicks. He can come to the right side rail and maybe billiard the 9 in, catching the 3 first. He can go to the left side of rail, which I like, maybe making the combination on the 3-9, and I think a little more guaranteed solid hit on the 3.
Yeah.
Well, the thing, again, man, I can't say it enough. Did you see the fans and hear the fans after that kick shot by Mario? I mean, there's a lot more of this game than these fans want to see. I think, he hit it sweet.
Yeah. And I was going to say that Pagulayan is one of the more efficient kickers in the world today, and I know he's going to hit this shot good.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm one to say that there's a lot of players out there today that can win tournaments just because their execution pocketing balls is very good. They break very good. They jump very good. And maybe lacking a little information or a little experience on kicking and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But I've kind of made a mistake saying that. There are some players like that. But as a whole, it's amazing how well all the players kick these days. I mean, I know Alex is one of the upper echelon guys and has been doing it longer than most. But like just Mario He, for instance, and just a lot of young players that just are so astute and so good at many areas of the game.
Well, they understand the importance of being able to kick accurately. It's part of their regimen of when they practice.
Well, I think it's that and exactly what you just said at the end, putting in time doing it. Okay, trying to kick this one in. No 2 ways about it. Going right by the 7, maybe off the 7. Oof.
Again, he almost put it in. Like you said, he got very fortunate.
Yeah, fortune, though, comes from a little bit of effort sometimes, right?
Right, yeah, luck is this would be.
And that's another thing I see a lot more of today's game is these guys understand they got to play each other, but they're colleagues and they enjoy doing it, and it's not so much like
it used to be.
Yeah, let's just keep it like that.
Yeah.
So, and that bodes well for more tournaments coming. These guys know if they don't win this week, they got a little better chance coming soon to play again. And what a great jump there from Mario.
And they really didn't get the reward he should have gotten because of the difficulty of the shot, but at least he's at the table with a little bit of control.
Yeah, now with the 7-8 there, he can afford to bump the 5, roll the 4 past the 5, and bump it for the safety, just like that. Because the 7-8 is helping him so much.
So even though the cue ball did escape the 5, he still had the protection with the 7 and the 8. Now, once again, I look for him to go 2 cushions and kick the 4 toward the side pocket. He doesn't want to make it, though.
No, he should get a pretty decent hit here, though. And again, the 7-8 and the 5 helping him so much.
The one accurate kick, another perfectly executed kick. Wow, it's amazing how accurate these guys are kicking those balls.
Well, that's why I want to that's why fans love seeing it. I mean, really, it's a beautiful part of the game. And the fans start to realize, like we kind of know, these are intended kick shots. These aren't on accident.
It's hard to massay between the 7 and the 5 here. You know, he would like to do that, but it's going to be very difficult because you have to go out and then go back in, and the 7's in the way to do that.
Not much control there either.
No, he's got some problems if he wants to massay this. He may hit the 7 here.
Well, I think the thing is you could catch it thin. Oh, he caught it thick, so he's going to love it. Oh, no. I thought he was going to love it. He still may love it.
Wait a second.
Yeah, but he knows he's an underdog here with the jump cue.
But it was really great, kind of cool watching these two guys battle back and forth, playing these kick safeties.
Oh, absolutely.
I really liked that a lot. And it's not over yet.
And I think that's just another reason why, making, adjustments to the break rule, trying to figure out something that's going to, like I said, keep the integrity of the difficulty of the game so we can see more of the game.
Right, exactly. I mean, it's an excellent point.
Somewhat like golf, them guys, they want to make sure it's still important to hit the fairway. Not just bomb it on down there and hit it wherever you want, and you're going to have the best of it. All right, maybe drawn on top of this a hair. Oh, he stunned it. So that tells me Alex is feeling pretty good because that was fairly straight. There wasn't a whole lot of angle there.
He's on the hill. Couple more strokes of the stick.
Yeah,
advance in the tournament.
Yeah, we're going to lose a great player from Austria. Austria's second best player. Arguably, some would say you got to give it to Albin, but some would say Mario's right on his heels. But we're going to keep one special player here in the tournament, Alex Pagulayan.
No, that's for sure. He played a really strong match here. His ball running was really good. His kicking was exceptional. And he really earned that win.
And a fine applause for both players. Really enjoyed it, Billy. I'm sure we'll be back together sometime today or tomorrow. Stay tuned. Another great match coming.